Ah, okay. Sorry, it took me a while. Uh, I've got the wrong latency set on the stream as well, or whatever. Hello. Sorry, it's been a riot of a day. Honestly. Um, Jeez, the reason this stream is so delayed. One, I've been recovering from all the travelling I've been doing back and forth around Wales. Secondly, though, I today me and all my housemates, we were watching Oppenheimer and Barbie. So I've not long got back in the house. It's why I didn't have the stream premiere set up prior to this. But yeah, Oppenheimer and Barbie. That's what I've been doing today. Jeez. Can I get spoilers for Oppenheimer? Well, spoiler alert. He invents the atomic bomb. That's is that a good enough spoiler for you? Oh boy. But yeah, the idea of this stream, I'm going to keep it brief today. It's just a quick recap of the events of the Awdry Extravaganza. I've got some photographs I took. I'm not going to show you any of the videos just because I can't be bothered transferring all the files over from my phone. I didn't have a proper camera with me while I was going around, so I was just snapping photos on my phone. Also, for anyone who is interested in the official Train of Thought lore, yes, we're about to get a lore post. As we all know, the London water is gone. I finished drinking all of it because someone paid me to chug it on a stream. What I have instead, though, is a great big bottle of Wales water. There's just tap water from Wales in a great big bottle. Because I know you guys love the water lore, so there you are. You've got some more water lore. Chug it. I'm not chugging it. It's a 2-litre bottle. It's 2 litres of water. I would drown. No. I'm not chugging it, you goddamn maniacs. Anyway. Okay. Let me, real quick, disconnect my phone from my PC. There we go. Ooh, ignore that sound. It's a perfectly fine sound. Just ignore it. Let's see. Where are my holiday snaps? Here we are. Holiday snaps. 2 litres isn't that much. It's a lot. And I'm not chugging it all. Jeez. We're trying... I'm trying to show you guys holiday pictures, and you're already telling me, peer pressuring me into chugging 2 litres of water. I will not be bullied. No. Behave yourselves, good sirs and ladies. Okay, so let me just zoom out. That'll do. No, let's make this full screen. Why not? Okay. Let's see, add source. I want... I don't want to capture a display. I want to capture a window. Here we go. Window capture is just going to be called pictures. Yeah, we are Microsoft Photos. That was what I'm after. I beg your pardon. Oh, for goodness sake, bear with me. I'm trying to see if I can bring them up. I've not tested this, for which I'm sorry. Window capture, I want to capture photo. Okay. Please, let me let me show the pictures. Please? Pretty please. No, that's not working. That's not working. Oh, come on. I got this working literally the other day. Okay, so I don't want a display capture. Should I just capture my display? Media source, I don't want media source. Fine, we'll just display capture. Fine, we'll just... No, I want to capture... That'll just have to do. Oh, is that popping up on the stream? Oh, that's popping up on the stream as well. Well, it's a good thing I should hopefully not have had any sensitive files on display. Thank goodness. Jeez. Okay, that'll... Fine, that'll do. I thought it was just like in a little preview window. So that's irked me a little bit. Keep still. There we no, and then I'm trying to. There, it's not quite. It's like 2 pixels out from being centered, but that'll do. Can I crop this? I don't think I can crop this. I can only shrink it or grow it. Fine. That's just gonna have to do. I would stream the actual, I don't know, the program itself, but whatever. It's just being stupid. Why is it whenever I'm trying to do something fun, technology just doesn't like me? Right. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, because that's a very good place to start from what I hear. So I set off for Wales from I think, it was Thursday. Up an early morning, I stopped, and I got the train all the way there. Yeah, let me just make this full screen. From Manchester Piccadilly, I got the train all the way to Wales. I had to change at Shrewsbury, and the entire trip took me like 5 hours, not including, the like 40 minutes I was on the tram from where I live to Piccadilly. Don't ask me why. It was just because I didn't want to ride the bus. There would have been a train that would have taken me to, I think it was Bangor in Wales, and then it would have been an hour and 20 minutes by bus. If I'm on a bus for long periods of time, I just get travel sick. So I stuck with the train. It was probably cost me more in the long run, and I was on the trip longer. By the time I got to my hotel, I was just about ready to pass out. These are some of the snaps I got while I was at Shrewsbury Station. Just signals. That photo is horribly compressed. I have no idea why that is so compressed. That's a lot better. Just got a few snaps of the train. This wasn't the one I arrived on. This was just one I happened to pass through the station. I thought I might as well get a few snaps of it. And that's it. Departing the station. I was on the station for about 50 minutes before my train arrived. That was me departing. And I couldn't help but notice a lot of the sidings were like overgrown with this like lavender and like the bushes. Like, look at that. Look at that and tell me there's not something. I don't know about romantic. There's something charming about that. You know? Like, it's hard to describe. But like, there's a niceness about looking at a siding that's overgrown. I can't pin it down. I just like it. A few more photos as I whiz by. There's about an hour gap in the journey. Sorry, that lavender is Budella. I do apologise. Not Budella, Budlia. I'm mispronouncing everything. Uh, I'm sorry, Ethan the train lover. Ishan, I cannot read for the life of me. Jesus Christ. Oh boy. But yeah. So that's me going out of Shrewsbury. There must have been about an hour to an hour and a half pass before I started properly getting into Wales. This is when I started taking pictures. On the train journey, I was just watching Game Grumps and I was just vibing the entire time. I just had a load of stuff downloaded on my phone. But it was nice. Plenty of pictures, plenty of sheep, naturally, because it's Wales. Where else are you going to see sheep if not in Wales? Just snapping some photos of the rolling countryside. You know how it is. Honestly, beautiful scenery passing by. This was, I think, one of the areas I frequently pass by. I don't know if you can see. Let me try and like zoom in. I don't know how good the camera on my phone is. One of these people in these kayaks here, or canoes or whatever you want to call them, one or two were waving at the train passing by. I think I tried waving back. Obviously, I doubt they actually saw me because, you know, how the light was shining on the engine, etc., etc. But yeah, I pass by here quite frequently. Just some old buildings I saw on the trip. I think that was the first time I've seen the sea in years. Like, obviously, I've seen pictures, but this is the first time I'd physically seen the ocean in years. Like, I love the seaside. I love having a bucket and spade and building sandcastles. I love all that. And I was just so happy to finally see the sea again. So some rocky beaches. More fields. I think, yeah, we're just past Fairbourne at this point. I think that's Barmouth, you can see there in the background. Not Bournemouth, as I kept incorrectly saying. Barmouth and Bournemouth are two very different, faraway places. Yeah, that's the harbour. So you got Fairbourne on this side, and you've got Barmouth on this side. And what was nice, we'll get to it later through some of the pictures, but here, this building here, this is the end of the Fairbourne Railway, and there's a ferry that goes across from this sort of like shore here. It takes you across to, well, it's obviously off screen, but it just takes you to the harbour, the dock, over in Barmouth. So if you really wanted to, which is what I did, well, half did, is you can arrive in Fairbourne, take a little ride on the, it's a narrow gauge sort of railway. You can just ride across just the beach of Fairbourne up to here, and then just get a ferry across, spend the day in Barmouth, and then get the ferry back and take the return trip to Fairbourne. It's honestly a nice little trip. Not a very long one. I think the line's only about 2 miles long, but it's a nice trip. It's a very nice trip. There you are. That's a better view of it. So again, that's Fairbourne Beach over there. That's more of Barmouth, which is lovely. This is Porthmadog. This is where I was staying. these photos were taken a few hours later. A lot of fond memories of this harbour. I have a lot of fond memories. So it's quite nice. The Welsh Highland and the Festiniog here. I just happened to wander into the station because I saw the bar was open and I thought, okay, I'll just have a wander about. I went into the gift shop, saw, all of this. It was quite lovely. And I was wandering around the gift shop and then I hear a whistle. I'm like, oh, hang on. And I step outside. And I can't remember which came first. I don't know if it was the Garrett or the Fairley had just pulled into the station. It was just a full rake of coaches. It was the Fairley, not the Garrett. And it just pulled in. I was like, all right, I'm taking photos of this then. And yeah, let's see. Let me just scroll ahead just to make sure. So I just got a few good photos of the Harbour Master service, or the Harbour Master, depending on how you want to say it. Garrett, beautiful engine. Honestly, considering the gauge is it's 1 foot 11.5 inches, I think the Festiniog is. Welsh Highland. It's like 1 foot 11.5 inches. Basically just shy of 2 foot gauge. Considering it's 2 foot gauge, the size of the engine, man. Like, I know it's big, I've seen it before, but the actual size of it, like, it's genuinely mind-blowing. Like, just the absolute size of this lad. It's... Yeah, some of these photos are just the same photo but brighter. I took 2 photos because my camera, I had sunglasses on and light shining on it. I couldn't tell what was too dark, what was too bright, so I took several photos. This is inside of one of the... I think this is the Pullman. The first class Pullman. And if I had the money, I would have loved to have ridden in one of these. Like, just the idea of having a nice wingback chair as you're watching the countryside roll by. This is the open carriage. This is the Fairley. The Fairley pulled in just shortly after. Came in, topped up with coal. Ran around to the front of the train. And it was just sat there for a while. I think they were just organising things over in Boston Lodge. Again, a lovely engine. Such a lovely engine. It is a shame the Festiniog just builds them, runs them into the ground, and then just builds another one. But at the same time, they have free use on the patents, and it must be more economical, and I get it. It's a shame, but at the same time, don't broke what ain't fixed. The C2 was being worked on the Boston Lodge. I regret not getting the chance to tour around Boston Lodge. I should have asked while I was there, but I had so much to do in the meantime. I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to ask if we're going to have a tour of Boston Lodge. I don't know if it's possible because, just a random tourist being like, oh, I can have a look around your workshop, mate. It's not exactly something they can always accommodate. But yeah, I'd love to walk around Boston Lodge. I'd love to see how the progress on the C2 is coming. Because is the C2 running on the Welsh Highland or the Festiniog Railway? because I think it originally had a wheel, a gauge of about 2 foot 4 inches. So they're knocking off. So to accommodate it for the railway, they'd have to knock off 4 inches off of the wheel diameter, of the width of the axle, which the C2s already, they swiveled a lot. I don't know if you've ever seen like footage of them while they were in service. They swivel a lot, and narrowing the wheelbase, I can't imagine that's going to improve the ride. Maybe they're going to fit it with some pony wheels, some training wheels. I don't know. Also, Chris Eden Green is here. Hello, Chrissy boy. I'm just going through photographs of my holiday. Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, it would be nice to just see how the C2 is doing. I've got a few more photos of just Porthmadog in general. And that capped off the first day I had in Wales. It was a lot of travelling. I think it was starting to get on in the evening. I was hungry. Had dinner at the hotel I was staying at, the hotel restaurant. It was okay, but for what it was, I thought it was a bit pricey. And so it was a bit pricey, and it wasn't quite the quality I wanted. So I sort of ripped that bandage off when I first got there, because I was like, okay, I'm going to try the hotel food first, because if it's really good, then I'll, eat around elsewhere, and then on the last night I can treat myself to a really lovely dinner. Obviously it wasn't that nice, so for the rest of the week I was just eating takeaways. I was eating crap the entire time. Oh boy. So that was fun. The next day, it was Thursday I arrived. I didn't go to Towyn on Friday because the services I had booked were Saturday and Sunday. And I thought I didn't want to spend basically half of my time in Wales at this one railway. I was like, okay, I want to do something. And my original plan was, I think on Friday, I was going to get one of the either the Festiniog service or the Welsh Highland service to Carnarvon. I overslept. I had alarms set and everything. I was going to get breakfast at the hotel because that was all inclusive. I had it all planned out. I hadn't bought the tickets, luckily. I had it all planned out. I woke up to my alarms. I'm like, okay, right. And you ever do that thing where you think, okay, I've hit snooze on my alarm. And you lay in bed for a moment. It goes dark. You wake up. An hour has passed. That happened. And so I was like, well, there goes that plan. So instead I thought, alright, you know what, it doesn't have to be railways all day. So I think it was Friday was the only day I don't think I was on a train at all. And so instead I decided to spend the day in Crickeath, which I think was about 10 minutes on the bus. It wasn't a long way away. And by the time I'd figured out what I wanted to do, I walked outside of the hotel, went to the bus stop, and the bus was there within 2 or 3 minutes. So it's a good thing I made up my mind. So I decided to spend the day in Crickeath, which was honestly very nice. Like I said, it's been a long time since I was in Wales, especially Crickeith. Family used to visit Crickeith a lot, and I was walking up to Crickeith Castle, and as I walked past, I saw this. Like, I didn't know what to think of it. It's the most adorable thing I've seen in a long time. I think there are more all over Crickeith, because I've got a couple photos of a few other ones. Honestly, it was adorable, and I just wasn't expecting it. Just this little knitted hat on top of a pillar post box. Just lovely. Did I go to Cadwallers? I didn't get ice cream. I got a milkshake and a toasty because I wanted some lunch. That was after I went here, Crickeith Castle. And yeah, I think it was about £6 to get in. I want to say 6. It might have been... I'm not going to check my phone. I could just get my phone out and check, but I can't be bothered. Somewhere between 6 to 12... No, Carnarvon Castle's £12. It might have been £6.50. I can't remember. Anyway, it was a decent price. And you know what? Honestly, I walked around. I've got so many photos. I might just have to skim through them quickly. But, like, it's on top of a hill, so there's going to be loads of these where I take photos. And, yeah, it's more like a panoramic photo. Let me try and, like... So I started pointing over here, and I, like, panned over. And, like, it's hard when it's a panoramic picture because it's fat, but imagine I'm rotating my head and looking. Honestly, it's lovely up there. Just a photograph of some of the walls, like how just big chunks have gone missing out of it over time due to, I don't know, battles, or that could just be weathering. Just a view of the coastline, and it was so windy. Like, on top of a hill in Wales, of course it's going to be windy, but, like, it was such a stiff breeze. Like, it wasn't just a wind you could feel, it was a wind you could hear. It was just so loud. But, yeah, at the same time, it was quite nice. That was the view of the sea I had. Another photo of the town. This was quite humorous. This I found funny. Because... Okay, so essentially, it's just from where I took the last few photos. You go left. I'm assuming, from the way the rest of this is structured, I'm assuming this was either a gap in the wall or some sort of, like, rear entrance to the castle grounds, etc., etc. What made this so funny to me was, you look at the path and you think, oh, you know, you just walk down there and there's probably going to be like a little sort of zigzag path going down, like, towards the sea. No. I followed it, and you just... It's just a cliff. It just goes off. It just goes straight down to the beach. There's no safe way of getting there. So I just had it in my head, this hilarious image of just someone being like, right, I'm just off, just heading down to the beach, or just someone... I don't know, just the idea of someone bolting out of the rear entrance, following the path and going straight off the cliff. I have no idea why that's so funny. I can't explain it in a funnier way. But that's... that's what I had going on in my head. Just some more photos, just some photos of the sea. There was this plane flying overhead. I think there were a couple of different ones, but this is the one I photographed. I want to say in my ignorance that it's a Spitfire. I don't think it was. But I'm not... I'm train of thought, not plane of thought. Definitely propeller driven, because I could hear that... You know. Honestly, not too sure. I'm honestly surprised my phone took that good of a picture. That's actually a really nice photograph. If anyone wants it, let me know. I'll post that. You know what? I'm going to post that in the Discord real quick. Just because I can. Which photo is it? Let me just find it real quick. Nope. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can just copy that picture. I'm going to post that in the Discord real quick, just because that's a nice photo. Anyway, a hurricane, maybe. Yeah, wings are wrong for it to be a Spitfire, and it didn't look like one. It didn't sound like one. Like I said, I'm not good with planes. Might be a hurricane. I'm gonna take it from you guys. I'm just gonna assume you know what you're talking about. That's more of the view of the coast if you were to walk around the castle edge. That's kind of a view from the steps down I was showing you earlier. That's kind of a view of the rest of the castle from behind. This is the sort of doorway going in. A different sort of angle, just you can see past like the ruins of like the big tower that was there before. And it's hard to really get it across in pictures how tall this is. Like, you look at that and you think, oh, you know, a person's that high, so that can't be any more than, like, what, 10 foot high? Nah, like, just skim through a couple of the photos. I'll try not to bore you with the castle stuff. I found it more interesting. It's very interesting to go to in person. I especially found it interesting with my fascination with D&D. Just because it's like, oh, this is how this would have worked in medieval times. You know, just the small things. There was, you know, just a little stepway into this little sort of walled off area. This is where, like, the tower was, that. Okay, and... oh, that's a panoramic view. Okay, I really cannot stress how tall that was. That must have... this whole thing is, like, 18 feet tall. In meters, that's about 3 feet to a meter, so that's about 6 meters, 6 to 7 meters, give or take. It must have been 18 feet tall. It's big. Like, honestly, you know, you think old castles and, like, you look at them from a distance, you think they're dinky, but nah, it's really big. This is a panoramic view of the inside of the castle, so I'm going to try and zoom in and make it at least feel like you're rotating your head. Yeah, so just looking around. And again, you've got these two great big towers here. I don't know who these people are. They were just sort of wandered into shot. What's really interesting, though, this was right by the entrance. Like, that. This is sort of like the little entrance door here. And it's always interesting to look at these foundations and think, what was this for? Because, like, this is like a little trench in the ground. But, like, it didn't lead to anywhere. It's just a little trench in the ground. Was that... it couldn't have been for drainage or anything like that. You know, there's this little gap here. This is almost like a pond, I want to say. Like, obviously it wouldn't have been a pond, but it could have been. I don't think it was. You know, just a big chunk missing out of the wall here. And it's just fascinating to look at and think, okay, that's one of the ways in. Would there have been people stationed here? Was this a place for people to be stationed? I don't know. Obviously, there's probably going to be like a tour someone does at some point explaining all of it. But it's so fascinating. Like, this is a little trench that must have been like a foot deep. You know, it's quite good. Different sort of angles. of the castle. These were just stairways. It's hard to describe how narrow those stairs were. They were tiny. Like, I'm not exactly a slender guy, but I was like, damn. More views. Stairs again. My foot on one of the steps. Surprisingly big. They're like big steps, but they weren't wide. To give you context, that shoe is about a size 10.5 UK. Not sure what that means to anywhere else in the world. But if one of you clever people in chat right now, you could probably look it up for me. About a 10.5, whatever that translates to. That's a fenced off thing. I think you can get up to that. I'm not sure how. I'll probably see it in another picture. What's interesting though is these little like cubby holes in the wall. And it's like, those aren't like a result of, things eroding away. Those were purpose built there. They deliberately left those gaps in the wall. And they don't go all the way through either. They're just little cubbies. And I wondered what they were at first, and then it kind of dawned on me. Would they have been where you put candles or torches? Because they were pretty big. They were like fairly large gaps. Must have been a foot, 30 centimeters. Put log holes. Oh, maybe they were. I don't know. It's because they were at a sort of like head height. So I don't think they would have been for like logs to have been slipped in for, rafters or whatever. My guess was that that's where you'd put like candles or torches or something. So then if the wind blew, like, it wouldn't immediately blow them out. They'd have some kind of protection. I don't know. Like, I'm not the medieval specialist, but it's interesting that they've got like these ergonomic designs. These I'll definitely say, you can see here where wooden beams would have been slotted in to create the floors of the tower. Yeah, someone does make the valid point. Floor now isn't necessarily where the floor was, so that's a good point. Just some of the windows, some of the holes of the tower where they would have had floors. And again, it's so hard to get across how big this is. Like, the sheer scale of this thing. That's it from the other side. That's another one of. I think that's. I think that's the left or the right. I think that's the right tower. No, is that the left one? Yeah, I was stood in the left open area, and like those are. I think those are full-sized flagpoles, or at least they were very tall. It's so big. It's genuinely. Like, I can't get across the scale. Must be 20-25 feet tall. Like, that's the entrance. That's not like a perspective trick. He's not standing closer to... Like, he's not standing closer to me or anything. He is basically stood in that archway. And that's how big the castle is. It's so hard to get across the scale in pictures, but it's so big. If any viewers watching are in these photos, I do apologize. But yeah, this was also interesting because apparently this housed like a great big catapult in this sort of area here. Let me see if I can skip ahead to photos. I don't think I've got any photos of it. This was basically just a great big hole. Like, if you looked over the railing, it was just a big hole. Yeah, So those are all the snaps I've got of the castle. I've got a few more. I've got plenty more. But I think for the sake of brevity, we'll just move on. This was the beach. I just spent a bit of time on the beach, really. Because it had been so long since I've been to the sea. It wasn't a very warm day, but I was a big boy. I took my shoes and socks off, I rolled up my trousers, and I had a little paddle in the sea. So, yeah, that was fun. That's the lifeboat station. I think on some days they'll do a drill. That's the castle from a sort of lower view on a different beach. This was interesting. On one of the beaches, there's just this great big pile of rocks. And I saw this, and I was like, oh, that must have been like a metal barricade or something. The more I looked at like this bit of metal, though, it looked like an old railway track. Like an old piece of rail line. And it got me wondering what it was doing there. My assumption would be at some point they probably just had... they probably used old rail girders or old railway lines as sort of like reinforcements of like embankment or something. That's what I'm thinking. Repurpose the old rail. I don't know, just used it as like reinforcement or something, have it welded sideways. But then it doesn't explain what these are here, because these look kind of like, you know, bits of railway line, but at the same time they're kind of like embedded in concrete and they were like part of like their own sort of metal thing. I'm not entirely sure, but it fascinated me, that's all. Again, it was probably some sort of used for reinforcement or fencing or something, but I don't know. You just see something and you think, what's the deal with that? So that was a mystery. A bit more of a walk on Cricketh Beach, and then I stumbled across another one of these as I was going back to wait for the bus. Oh, those are railheads, apparently. Must have been, oh my, go on, stop saying like oh my, come on, Robert. Is it Robert? Because it's spelled Robert with the O, funny thing. What do you mean oh my? Are you trying to imply there was a railway track on the beach? Because I'll be honest with you, I can see that happening. Mostly because the lifeboat station is very nearby. Wouldn't surprise me if at some point they had some kind of rail or something that they could roll the boat on. Oh, on top of the posting. Never mind. This is why you can't go oh my in mid-sentence when you're typing, alright? Don't mess with me like that. It's possible they had something like that going down to the beach, because, you know, lifeguards, coast guards, that's what they do. Yeah, so there's another knitted thing on another post box. Quite adorable. That was nice. There's also this little archway with all these like little knitted dragons and little pom-poms on it. It was... yeah, and there was like these little bollards as well that had these on. It's so nice. And I was waiting, because I was waiting for the bus, it wouldn't come for like a little while. I thought, okay, I'll buy myself a little chocolate cake, or I'll buy myself a little treat for like a dessert after, you know, my dinner that night. And honestly, as I was waiting for the bus, I went into a bakery which was literally right opposite the bus stop. I'm not kidding you. You know the North FC meme? It's the crude drawing of like the typical Brexit geezer. The red shirt, really overweight, eyes pretty shut, and he's got like the red football shirt that says North FC on it, and he does it. He's like, love beer, love football, love chips, hate my wife, hate immigrants, got not racist, just don't like them. Bang tied that. Hold on, let me get a picture for those who don't know. Okay, it's hard to find just a clear picture. Yes, here we go. Sorry, now I'm looking at it. I realise how mean this is. So I hope this guy isn't a fan. One sec. Add. Here we go. This guy. I swear, I did a double take because I was in line at the bakery, and a guy who looked exactly like this walked in. The only difference was he had a like black, it's like dark coloured flat cap on, and he had the red shirt, but instead of North FC, it had the Welsh Football Club on it. Who said ToT face reveal? You son of a... Keeping my language PG. You bastard. How dare you come into my stream and say that about me? Oh my god. Oh, jeez. But yeah, I did a double take because literally this guy walked in. It was quite funny. So anyway, back to more pressing matters because we've got so much more to talk about, and I gotta speed this on. There's also a model shop in Porthmadog, and I just had to take a photo of this. I had to, because like, look at that. That is... If it wasn't so expensive. Fun fact, I did go into this model shop, I think on my last day in Porthmadog. And the guy who in the shop had a bunch of sets like this and whatnot. He was putting together a couple of like minifigures and whatnot. And obviously, because they're custom printed sets, some of them are like custom made. I mentioned like, oh, so you got like all this sort of like Lego and stuff. As soon as I said Lego, the guy looked at me like I had spat on him. And it's like he'd been prepared for someone to say that. And he was just going on about how like, there are all these like companies in kind of like China or whatever that, there are a lot of knockoff brands, but there's one or two that basically make it of the exact same quality and that do like custom parts and stuff like this. And I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And he's like, well, you're just paying for the brand, essentially. Like, it's like paying for Nikes or Levi jeans. And I'm like, alright, okay, yeah. Alright. And me being so socially awkward, I couldn't just back out of the conversation. So the guy went on until someone else came to purchase a model. And I didn't want to immediately bolt out of the shop. That would have raised suspicion. So I just had to I just had a quick look around at some other sets, turned around, cheers mate, walked out. I didn't go back in. All I wanted to do was look and see what models he had, and see if he had like any D&D sort of stuff, because that's what I'm into. Oh, jeez. So yeah, and I think that same night I got a takeaway. I discovered there was a pub nearby that had very, very cheap drinks. It was right around the corner from my hotel, and the pub. The lady behind the bar said it was one of the cheapest pubs in, I think, Porthmadog. I thought it was the cheapest pub in the country because chat knows me from the general stream, and you know how I get when I drink the funny orange juice. For a double screwdriver, I'm used to living in Manchester where a single costs like $4.70 for just the shot and then extra for the orange juice. So you're looking at about $5.50 for a single, $6.50 for a double. I was like, yeah, I'll just get a double screwdriver. Whatever. £4 for a double. And I thought, bloody hell, I'm definitely coming back here again. I had a drink at the Spooners at Spooners as well, the bar / cafe at the Festiniog. That was cheap there as well. So if you want a place to go for a cheap piss up, go to Porthmadog, I guess. But that night I went to one of those cheap kebab shop takeaways. They do pizzas, they do burgers, they do kebabs, that sort of takeaway. And I was like, okay, I got a burger, some chips and onion rings, as we do. And then I thought, you know what I fancy? I'm going to need some ketchup with these fries. So I went into the local Spa shop, and this was there to greet me. Mr. Beast was there to greet me at the Spa. And honest to God, I walked through into the shop. I saw that. I did a double take. I'm like, I beg your pardon? It's just Mr. Beast was there with his Beast Bar or whatever it is he's flogging nowadays. I'm like, oh God. And here's the thing. This isn't like Cardiff. This isn't, some amazing... This isn't like a populated place. This is Porthmadog. This place is kind of rural in Wales. Well, I wouldn't say rural, but it's not exact. It's not the beach. It's not quite a holiday destination. Why was Mr. Beast there? Yes, and I was about to say to Nathan the J, who just asked, yes, there was Prime as well. They were selling what was it, Feastables? Yeah, it's Feastables. Mr. Beastables. So I got my ketchup and I went about the rest of my evening. Honestly, the burger I had, it was a quarter pounder with cheese, like a chicken fillet with cheese, like a fried chicken fillet, and doner meat, all on a burger. My God, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. It was amazing. Just what you need when you're drunk. Anyway, next day arrives, train station at Porthmadog. It's the Saturday, and it is Awdry Day. Obviously, it's persisting it down with rain. So that's the photo I had at the station. This was the photo I took while on the train, and you can see the weather. Oh, jeez, it did not like... It was a horrible journey. I think it had stopped by the time I got off. But yeah, it was... It certainly wasn't pleasant. But I can't argue. I got to Tallyclyn. I got to Towyn, and it had at least stopped. I don't know how many of you were actually at the Awdry Extravaganza. It had sort of stopped raining at about 9:20. That's when I got there. I think it started to pick up at about 9:30 again. so it wasn't particularly amazing, but it was kind of that. It wasn't heavy rain, it was that kind of thick mist, like a drizzle, all day. So it wasn't that great. What did brighten me up was seeing these three. I don't know if anyone else saw them while they were there. We've got, what is it, the thin controller, the Duke or the Earl or whatever of Sodor, Mr. Sodor, and I didn't catch her name. I think I saw a few of her on Twitter. I didn't quite get her name. She was dressed up like that. Honestly, they were a laugh. They were just wandering about having their photos taken. They were up for it. I greatly respect these guys for just coming in cosplay. Ivo Hugh came into the station. I was at the station most of the morning. Just because I was on the pop special. I think it was 12:15. I was on the pop special. So I spent most of the morning in the station just milling about, taking photos, as you do. I have a few videos as well. I'm not going to show them for the sake of brevity, and I don't know which ones are good, which ones are bad. With the pictures, I can just say whatever. I can just look at it real quick. I got a few nice photos of the engine. So that's Ivo Hugh, Tom Rolt in cosplay. They had a few wagons taped off. Don't know if you want to see photos of the museum. I think we'll just skip museum photos for now, just because most people, everyone knows what the models. Here's the Reverend Awdry's models, yada yada. You've seen them. I'm not gonna waste time. You've seen them. That was a photo of Dolgok, or Smudger, as it was that day. What was rather humorous was I was in the museum at the time. I was on the little balcony looking across, and there was, I think they're American. One of them must have seen Dolgok dressed up as Smudger, came in to tell their friend that it's not Renius that Dolgok is dressed up as, it's Smudger. But it was just like, hey, Dolgok, it's not Renius, it's Smudger. And they laughed as soon as it's Smudger. I just heard, ha! Top of his lungs. And everyone in the room jumped. It was, oh jeez. I'm sure there was a nice enough person. I'm sure they were, they're just enjoying the festivities, so I'm not going to mock them. But it's just how, in this, everyone was just milling about, looking at the exhibits, looking at little Awdry's models, and then you just hear it's Smudger. Ha! At the top of his lungs. It was like someone threw a flashbang in the room. But yeah, that's Taliban. A few more photos. We've been here, done that. So that's Smudger again with... oh, I'm sorry. Just that face. Just that face. Jeez. That was Rusty. Oh man, Rusty. You can see it already. For those of you who don't want your childlike innocence and wonder ruined, cover your ears now. But essentially what the Talyclin had done for, to make Midlander Rusty was they had completely, just wash off paint. Because to fully repaint an engine, it's not cheap, etc. So just make it look like Rusty, to paint Rusty in that sort of bullet green. It was just some sort of temporary wash off paint. Obviously, it starts raining, And so most of the paint you can see here has started to run. And oh man. I don't mean to mock. Because obviously this is an important event. They were doing this for the fans, and I can't. The situation. I'm not gonna like beat them for it. I'm just gonna say, watching the black paint run off was, oh boy. Here we got Sir Handel, as we know and love him. That's a photo. Yeah, we are. Got a better photo of Sir Hayden here. The slightly more blurred face. And what I'm really pleased with myself about, and I don't know how many of you were actually at the Awdry Extravaganza on Saturday. The entire day I was there, on Saturday, I had this Purple Heroes tub full of homemade cookies, and I was just giving them out. I was just walking around up to people just like, hey, do you want a cookie? Homemade? And so I walked up to the cab of Sir Hayden, and I just walked. I was like, can I get on the footplate? And they were like, no. I was like, I'll offer you a cookie. And he's like, all right, take your photos. And so I just I just walked up to the crew of Sir Hayden and like the guys that were on the chain, making sure people weren't wondering where they shouldn't be. All of them took a cookie, and they just let me hop on. Let me see. Yeah, here we are. They just let me take photos of the footplate. It was really lovely. So yeah, these were homemade cookies as well. Milk and white chocolate. How about that for class? So yeah, I tried to get a photo or two of the model table. Easier said than done because everyone was just mobbing around it. So yeah, part of me wishes I had brought. I've got a little City of Truro in the. I don't know what the line is, but it's the one with the little red plastic hooks on the front. One's like a sort of loop at the back, and one of them's like a little prong at the front. One of you probably knows what I'm on about. I've got a little City of Truro, one of those. I should have brought it, but hey ho, I forgot. Here comes Duncan. And okay, here is. These two images tell a very tragic story. So, basically, I stood here. I had the perfect view of Duncan/Douglas, whatever you want to call it. Like, completely unobstructed. And I watched, I had my camera pointed. And, there are a lot of people around. So I'd lifted my phone up a bit. I had my sunglasses on. There was a bit of water in the air. There was light on my phone screen, so I couldn't see it properly. I thought I was recording. I thought I had it set to video mode, my camera. And so this is when they were about to move Douglas to get for the Duncan's Pop Special. So I pressed the button to start recording. And the entire time, it slowly rolls down the line back here to the buffers. They switch the points, toots the whistle again, rolls forward, goes around the carriage. I press the button again as it gets to here to stop recording. It is at that point my phone goes click, and I go, what? And I look at it. It was set to photo mode. I had just been pointing my camera at it the entire time. I had the perfect video. If that was recording, it would have been so perfect. But no. And I lost one of the most perfect videos I could have ever recorded. It was just, it was painful. So yeah. these are some of the Lego models some other folks have built. Brilliant models, by the way, can I just say. I've got some Lego train stuff. I've been meaning to bring some stuff from back home, from my mum's house. Because I want to set that up one day on a stream and just have like a great big model train set going for your entertainment. But yeah, I really respect like the quality of these models are just so good. So hats off to them. This was me on the Pop Special. I didn't take many photos of the actual journey. I took some video recordings. But I didn't get a lot. A lot of beautiful scenery, though, I gotta say. Like, a lot of Wales is beautiful. Most of the time I was just chatting with the people I was in the carriage with. I did take their names, but I've forgotten them because I was very tired. So deepest apologies. Deepest apologies if you're watching this and I forgot your name. But I was riding with you on the Pop Special and it was fun. Yeah, this is Duncan. This is the photo I love the most, just because someone... I posted this on Twitter with the caption, "Miserable sod." And my favourite comment someone did was, have a photo of this, and they said, "Which one?" And then there was a photo of this chap here, which... Oh man. Which I don't know how you were feeling, good sir, when this photo was taken, but you clearly look like you've had a rough day of it. Yeah, bro went frowning emoji. I totally see that. Oh god. Yeah, this was really fun. I got some nice photos. I didn't get any photos of the return journey, so these are just photos of my trip on the train back to Porthmadog. But while I was up at the Pop Special station, there was a chap who approached me. Seemed like a very nice person. They were very polite. They asked to have a photo with me. I said sure, and they were like, "If you don't want me to share it, I won't share it." And that's perfectly fine. I appreciate that they asked me. So they were a very nice person I was talking to. This guy was. It was while I was filming Duncan shunting around to the back of the train. He asked me. I'm not going to say his name, so I'll spare him his blushes. Not that I remember it. I'm sorry if you're watching. I'm terrible with remembering names. He asks me, "So how are you finding your time in England?" I sort of did a double take and I was like, "Excuse me?" And he was like, "Are you enjoying it in England? Do you like your stay in England?" I was like, "Well, we're in Wales, firstly, because I'm not gonna be one of those people where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not in Wales, it's all part of England, all Britain, whatever." As much as I joke about that sort of thing. Anyway, I was like, "Yeah, no, we're in Wales, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been a while since I've been here. It's been nice." And it's like, "Is there, do you like England? How is it different?" I'm like, "Where do you think I'm from? I'm from England, mate." And bless him, it's one of those sort of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like when you get whiplashed. How like, I have a very plain, clear British accent. I don't know if you can like localize it. I've got like a little bit of country twang in there, but every now and then I, speak in a northern way or whatever. But I speak with a very sort of clear British accent. So this guy asking me if I was, from America or Canada. I can't remember where he thought I was from. But it was like such a big whiplash for me because I was like, Hey, what? No, hang on a sec. What? Oh, jeez. Yeah. Imagine he thought you were from Australia? Maybe. I did bump into an Australian chap on the second day. Um, he spoke. I didn't think he was from Australia at first because the way he spoke. So honestly, yeah. That guy probably thought you were from Mars or something. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. Mostly because I am not from Earth. But second of all, yeah, I get it. I'm weird. So yeah, I didn't. I think I took some videos of the trip back, but aside from that, um, yeah, the day had calmed down a bit. We'll move on to the next day. These next few photos I'm going to show. These were the actual Awdry exhibit. So before I move on, I don't know if you want a spoiler warning. If some people are waiting for like, if some people are waiting for like other people to do videos on the exhibit or whatever. My point being, I've got to turn my fan back on. I'm quite warm. Point being, if you don't want any spoilers for the Awdry exhibition, dip now. 3, 2, 1, you've had your warning. Okay, so the next day, I didn't take any photos of the trip back to... I didn't take any photos of the trip. Actually, no, I think this photo was on my way back to Towin on Sunday. Because I remember the sky it was a lot clearer, but it was a lot windier. So obviously the waves were, oof, it was awful. If you don't want spoilers, just dip out of the stream for about 20 minutes, 15. Okay, you've had your warning. So, the actual exhibition I took photos of. They had loads of different stuff. They had like little models of like the actual thin controller they used on the TV series, which was, you know, quite surreal to see because they're surprisingly big. Like you don't think how big they are. Like, no, these are pretty decently sized. Yes, Mr. Percival, the thin controller, I don't care. He's not canon. I said it. Anyway, these are the faces they used on Skarloey. They had Skarloey actually there with surprisingly a lot of weathering. I didn't realise how much they dirtied him up. But that's like for Skarloey's cab shots. You know, they had the carriages. They had, you know, the actual Skarloey models. I think that's Sir Handel. No, that's Skarloey. In the narrow gauge, they had the carriage. You know, the little carriages they had with them. They had like, you know, the big close-up ones with this chap in it who low-key kind of freaked me out. Not gonna lie. Don't like the way he looked at me. Think he was trying to steal my soul. They had Henry there as well. The actual model series Henry, which was amazing. As you know, the little, as well as, you know, Awdry's Henry, which I think it's a shame it's in a state of disrepair, but I get why they'd leave it on account of that's how Awdry left it and we don't want to interfere with this stuff. So I get it. They had Rusty's cab, like the big one used for close-ups. So what else? They had one of the workmen. They had the slate trucks, the winding house. And there was a great big thing on, you know, the original pilot. They've got, you know, the photo of James they used for it. The original paintings, the original oil paintings for the novels. That photo didn't focus right. You know, you've got the thin clergyman, the fat clergyman, and the small railway director. You know, I'm just referencing. That's what they were called in the books. I'm just saying. That photo is very blurry, but that's of Skarloey. That's just a little falcon model. That's they have a little diorama set up in the corner of the room. Duncan, obviously, Hrenius. For context, how small these models are, that's my finger. That is my index finger, and if I have a tape measure around here somewhere, I could tell you that my index finger, how long it is. But I don't have a tape measure or any kind of measure anywhere, so I can't tell you how long that engine is. Either way, it's very small. They also had all the different Peter Sounds as well. Honestly, it was just a nice little exhibit. They had that parked in the siding near the railway, which was fun, I guess. I think that's like one of the track maintenance things. I think that's one of the things that tampers the ballast. I could be wrong on there, but yeah. Tallyclin's side rods that snapped. I think it was the 150th birthday, wasn't it? Where they snapped. Oh, among the bluebells. Just popped in to say your biscuits were delicious and I had pleasure meeting you. Yeah, for anyone who's just tuned in, if you're at the Tallyclin for the Awdry Extravaganza on Saturday, I was the guy handing out cookies. But yeah, Ivo Hugh again with a face that melts hearts and steals souls. If you wanted to know where the side rods are, if you go upstairs to the museum, there's a little wagon upstairs, like a little old quarry wagon. If you look in the wagon, it's in there. I almost missed it first time around too. So that's Ivo Hugh. They had Rusty in a siding as well, so you could take better pictures with him. One sec, I'm just going to delete those two photos because I don't want you seeing them. Okay. So these were some of the models people had. One sec. So these are some of the Lego models people had going. These were quite nice. I really wish I could build something like this, or I had like, I don't know, a pannier tank or something I could have for my own model railway, because I just like Lego trains, what can I say? This was some photos of the trip up. This was just a day rider. I wasn't on any specials on Sunday. I was just on a train up to the top, and honestly, the views, so lovely, so lovely. That's the old winding house. That's the old winch. I couldn't get a good photo of it, to my greatest disparage. But yeah, here I had arrived at Nat Guerin, Nat Gnolwyn, however you pronounce it, top station. One of you is going to type it in the chat real quick so I can pronounce it correctly. But I arrived there, and rather than ride back down, I just thought I'd have lunch up here, and so I did. This is on the Sunday, I would like to clarify. So this was the last day of the extravaganza. It was Ivo Hugh that took me up. Plenty of people taking photos. I snapped a few photos. Just had a bit of a wander around the station. because I was on my own, and you know they had the trail, and honestly, this was worth coming to Towin all on its own. Just this little area here, like the walk, I would love to come back and go on this walk one day. Because, like, it's so hard. If you've not been, it's so hard to describe how high up, how deep this little valley is. And, like, this was amazing as well. That, what you're looking at, that's a staircase. But because it had been raining, all the water from, like, the hill and the valley had trickled down. And so you just had this little stream going down the staircase. And same here too. It was like a little waterfall. And honestly, it was beautiful. Like, it's hard to get across in some of these photos. This is hard because of like how the light was, but it was trickling. Water was trickling from here all the way across and down. That was lovely. Here's a better sort of angle of it to get how steep it was. The river was flowing quite quickly. This was just like a little section of branches and trees that had like clogged up a bit. Part of me wishes I had like a pair of Wellington boots and I could just pull out all of those branches, just help the water flow. No, it's just what I like doing. I like undamming streams. Just looking at the water flowing, it was, my God, it was gorgeous. And like, that was another waterfall, and like, I'm so glad my camera on my phone is so good that it captured this. I'm so glad I have a good camera phone. This is sort of like closer of like the stream. It's honestly so beautiful. Like, it's just gorgeous. I would love to come back. I'd need to go back to Towin just for, you know, just to have a walk along the scenery. I didn't even get to walk around Dolgok. But still. I think, yeah, here we go. This is the top of the waterfall I saw earlier. That is a little outcropping. It's very difficult to walk on. But I bounced on top of it and I took some photos. That drop must have been about however high that is. Oh, let me see if I can. I'm not going to go all the way back. I'm trying to get through these photos. But yeah, took a photo of the point levers. There were no trains coming. To clarify, I wasn't stood on the track. I was still on the platform. I was just leaning over and taking photos of the track. Just trying to get some kind of good down the line shot. Obviously, you could tell I wasn't properly on the line because I was holding my phone at an angle. Ah, jeez. I think that's the nicest photo I got out of it. Yeah. Like, yeah. You can see my carrier bag and coat there. I wish I didn't leave it there, but I didn't know when the train was coming, so it's meh, comme si, comme ça. Yeah, some very nice photos. I also got this great photo of, obviously, Sir Handel. Because I was like the only person on the platform, so there was no one else there. I think I got a great video of it going past as well. Again, that's for later. I can't be bothered showing you the videos right now. So yeah, real good photos I got here of Sir Handel. That was a guard's van, took a few photos of that. Let's see. This was inside the guard's van. I'm not going to say who the guard was, because I didn't ask his name. But I did have... I had a chocolate donut I bought for my lunch. One of those came in a pack of two. I'd eaten one. And I just said to the guard, I don't suppose I could just get a ride in the guard's van. And he said, I'll take you down to the next station, no further. Because, people were people were paying money to ride in the guard's van, and you know, he was doing me a favor by letting me inside. So just one station down was enough. So bribery with food, it does work. Don't keep trying it though. They will get fed up very quickly. But yeah, very kind lad let me on board. You probably won't succeed if you try and bribe with food to get on board things, but you know what? It's a W, we take those. Very kind lad. So I was spoiled. Got a nice photo of, nice close-up photo of that face. Jeez. Just took a photo of the crest as well. This was back down at Towing Station, and this was the last photo I took of the day. At this point, they were getting ready for the photo op. So people were shunting the carriages away. They were getting trucks ready. They were getting the photo op. They were just getting it set for the photo op. So this was the last day I was at the Awdry Extravaganza. It was quite fun though. I bumped into Max Terrier 55 Stepney. That's his channel. It's those three words in some sort of order. I bumped into Max, had a quick chat with him because you know he had other things to do, but you know it was real nice to see him. It was quite fun. ToT maxed out his charisma points. I am a sorcerer. What can I say? I'm a saucy boy. I'm a sorcerer. Please never take that out of context. I am not a saucy boy. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Anyway. Yeah. So this was the last day I was at Towin. Train ride home. Someone was at the station at Towin filming something, and honestly, it was the greatest moment of one of the greatest moments of my life, because he goes, yeah, he had his phone, he had his camera out, and he was turning it around, and he was like, okay, I think he was doing like a wrap up thing for his vlog or stream or whatever he was doing, and he's over on the platform. He was like, okay, name your YouTube or Twitter account. Handle, go. And it starts panning around. He's like, I'm so and so. So I'm so and so. I'm so and so. I'm so and so. He pans the camera to me. I had just arrived at the station. I was like not cued into what was like properly going on. I just got the idea that he was like, okay, we're from the railway. What's your Twitter handle? And so he pans the camera over to me. I just do like a sort of double tap, look left, look right, like me. And it's like, yeah, I was like, train of thought. And immediately everyone turns to me like, oh my god, it's you! And I never... It's one of those feelings. I had it, you know, a couple of times while at the railway because people are like, oh, your train of thought. Oh, that's nice. But like, just having a crowd of people look at you and go, oh my god, it's you? It's such a surreal feeling. I don't know, but it really strokes your ego. I can see why, you know, you get like, I can understand how all these like, you know, Instagram celebrity influencers and Instagram celebrities and TikTok stars and whatever, you know, those like cringy videos where they're like, don't you know who I am? I'm famous, you know, I've got so many followers, and you're like, I can see how people fall into that rabbit hole. Because me going, yeah, I'm train of thought, and people being excited to see me, you know, it's a very strange feeling. It was quite fun though. and I feel sorry for the guy who was filming because I basically walked in to his vlog and I just hijacked it from there. Because I just was like, yeah, I'm train of thought, and I just walk up to the camera and I'm like, and I hear you're not subscribed. Why aren't you subscribed? I tell you at the end of every video, subscribe, for God's sake. You know. So I'm terribly sorry, but I hijacked his vlog. Oh boy. So yeah, that was fun. Next day was Monday. Yes, there's more. There's more after the Awdry Extravaganza. Next day was Monday, and I went to the Fairbourne Railway. I went there with two guys I met at the railway at Towin during the extravaganza. And the Fairbourne Railway is quite nice. I did say earlier, you could get the ferry from the end of the Fairbourne Railway to Barmouth, and that's what I did. This was funny, this little Hunslet engine, because, let me zoom in, I don't know if it'll show on here. I think it was this switch. It was either this switch or this switch, but they just had the engine idling here because they were getting the Raker coaches ready to take out on the next train, and it really tickled me because the engine was just idling. I couldn't get into the actual station because you had to go through like the little museum entranceway here across this level, crossing to the platform to buy tickets. This engine was just idling on the points, and this switch, this little lever, I think it was this one, I could just see it vibrating. I don't know why. I got a video of it somewhere. It just really tickled me. But yeah, that was nice. Took a few photos of everything. Little diesel motor. I had a little seagull in the cab of one of the exhibits. They had this as well, which was just very interesting. How you could just park an engine on here and shove it back in the sheds. It's hard to see, but it's hard to see unless you're there. But it was nice. More flowers growing in the bush beside the line. I may have tried to pick up one of the pieces of ballast while the train was going, and I may have nicked my finger. I might have done that. It's all hearsay. I only might have done that. I definitely didn't do that. Yeah, this was the engine we were behind. Sherpa, however you want to pronounce it. Lovely little engine because it's a recreation of the Indian Railways locomotives. Honestly, beautiful little engine. They've done a real good job. Done a real good job copying it. One sec. Yeah, cue the stereotypical Indian music. I don't know. Across the Spider-Verse did that pretty good. I don't know what you think of Pavita Babaka, but I love him, mate. The only Spider-Man without depression. But yeah, this was, again, let me just find that photo again real quick. So, where's that photo of Fairbourne? I'm after. Is it this one? Okay, yeah. So, this picture was taken here. This is where the line ends. And so, obviously, I got the ferry to go over to Barmouth afterwards. But at that station, I'd like to add, this is one of the guys I was with. there was just this loop of track going round, and we followed it. And it loops around this giant sand dune, and it comes to just the end of a line, and it's completely buried in like just sand and silt, and it's all overgrown. And I was like, what on earth? And we're like, what is this? So we asked, and apparently it used to be that at the last station it would loop entirely around, and you could just drive straight back down. Apparently what it was is, like the Talyllyn and Corris railways, the carriages only have doors on one side, so by looping it around, the doors would be on the wrong side when it went back down to the first station. On top of that, a lot of sand and whatever kept blowing onto the track, so they kept having to clear the line, yada yada yada. So yeah. And in case you're wondering who the two guys were I was with, it was these two. Their names escape me for the time being. But we've got red jacket guy and blue shirt guy. Yeah, they were a good laugh. They were fun. We had some fun together at the railway. Blue shirt guy says he's got a YouTube channel. He was recording a bunch of stuff for that. It's Batman and Robin. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is. Sure, I was a Batman and Robin. Who was who? I'll let you. I'll let you figure that out. But yeah, I was with these pair for I think the first half of the afternoon. We got a few more photos of the engine. Got some good videos of it. We then went across to Barmouth. Got some nice photos there. We went on the little boat. That was nice. I think blue shirt guy got some nice videos of that. I might appear in one of his vlogs. You never know. That was just a little tucked up for sale that we saw, which I was in love with. If I had a license, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. This was also what we saw. We saw the Riddler-mobile. I don't really know what who would own this, but I guess Batman was in town for a little bit. So yeah, that was interesting to see. This is the blue shirt guy again, and we figured out that he's canonically taller than Peter Griffin. So yeah, for any of you that are subscribed to this guy's channel, he's taller than Peter Griffin. Ah, jeez. After that, we had a bite to eat, and we split. They had to get trains back home to their home places respectively. Me, on the other hand, I wanted a day at the beach. I had packed my Crocs, a towel, some sun cream. I just wanted a day at the beach. And a day at the beach is what I got. And I basically just spent the rest of the afternoon at Barmouth Beach. And honestly, I don't regret it, because it had been so long since I've been to the sea. My only regret is not having a bucket and spade. I wish I had friends there with me as well. But there was a few folks that were happy to like just keep an eye on my stuff while I went and wandered about on my own, because they had their own little like tents and windbreak set up. They'd obviously made camp. Oh, of course that photo didn't focus. Here we go. But like this is Barmouth Beach. There's so much sand, and the water was like, it was cold, but you got used to it, and it was nice. The sun was out, seagulls, everywhere. The water was a little choppy, but I had my swim trunks on. It was so nice to just be on the beach. It was absolutely lovely. Here we are, another panoramic shot. Let me just pan that across for you. Real nice. Oop. That's a jellyfish that had been pecked half to death by seagulls. This, I don't know what this was. I just saw this in the sand, thought it was neat, and took a photo of it. Whoever drew this, well done, you're an artist. Let's see. This was on the beach as well. It just kept asking me for bubblegum, which was terrifying. But what was also nifty is if you look in like all these little like cracks and gaps here, people have just lodged pennies in them. Like there's just 10p's, 50p's all just wedged in there. Yeah, people reacting with the Easter Island head emoji. Ah, jeez. So yeah, this was how I spent my Monday, which was lovely. These are just bits of fence buried in the sand, which was surreal. This is a little castle someone made. I didn't make this, I just saw it and thought it was nice. And that's a crab claw, which also nice. Got the train back home. Beautiful evening. Absolutely gorgeous evening. And like I had dinner at a nice restaurant as well, which was nice. But the evening was so gorgeous. The clear sky, the sunset. And what made the evening especially nice, as I was waiting for my train, this absolutely lovely Yorkshire couple. They were waiting at the station as well, you know, saying how they were on holiday, and we just got to talking, and I said, "Oh, I do YouTube and whatever, and you know, it's real nice." And, oh well, we've got a grandkid that wants to do all that and whatever, and you know, I got to talking with them. They were talking about their experiences and how they knew people that had railways. One of them said they had like an old oak and brass. I think it was a kilter or something. How they'd measure like the angle curves were at to make sure that, you know, when the train went round it wouldn't fly off. It was like at the right angle. And we just got to talking. Very lovely people. They were camping nearby. Honestly, so lovely. Very lovely people. You know, you can't hate anyone from Yorkshire. You try and tell me you hate Guy Martin. You can't. Amazing man. But yeah, lovely family. Lovely, well, just a couple, but they were lovely. So yeah, that was my sort of train ride. This so this was the end of Monday. This was Tuesday. And my God, Tuesday started off so terribly because I had like a little bit of a lie-in. I had a sort of later start to the morning because my plan was I wanted to ride on either the Welsh Highland or the Festiniog Railway. And I got to the station and the Harbour Master service, the Welsh Highland one, was still at the station. And I looked at the time and I was like, okay, it's going to leave in a couple of minutes. I better get a ticket for it. I dart over to, you know, the ticket office. I'm like, hey, I'm waiting behind like 3 other people. So already my anxiety is kicking in. I get to the front desk. I'm like, okay, it's scheduled to leave any minute. Are there any tickets? Are there any spaces left on the Harbour Master service, the one that goes from Porthmadog all the way to Carnarvon Castle, all the way to Carnarvon? And I was like, do you have any services? And he was just like, I mean, we could squeeze you in on the open carriage. And I was like, you know what? I'll take it. It's a nice day. I'll take it. And as soon as he hands me the ticket, I hear beater, 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 beater. And if you've been to Porthmadog on the Welsh Highland Railway, you know that it partially crosses the road. And so it has to, have the little sirens blaring to warn traffic of engines coming, etc. So as soon as I turn around, get out of the ticket office, it's gone. I had just paid about 60 quid for a service that had vanished. And so I was like, oh well. And so I walked back to the ticket office and I was like, look, I'll happily exchange this for, I think it was the Mountain Spirit, the Festiniog service, the one that goes all the way to Festiniog. And he paused and he goes, no, hang on a sec. Well, no, we'll sort something for you. We'll sort something. And he comes back and he's like, if you just go to the car park, mate, go to the car park, we'll sort you out. And like, I see you train fans saying this is why you pay in advance. When I looked online, it was sold out. So I couldn't book a ticket online. I'd have to go and pay on the day if there was a free seat. Anyway, so I've missed the train. They tell me to go to the car park. The guy that manages the social media, one of like the actual... an older chap, but like one of the actual official railway employees, throws me into the passenger seat of his car. And we floor it to the next stop. Like, we were gunning it through Porthmadog all the way to the next stop. And they'd obviously radioed ahead just to say, hey, someone's missed the train, can you wait for them? So they were waiting at the platform for me. And they weren't they didn't look pleased. The driver nor the guard seemed to be pleased about their emergency stop. And so we get there, we see, there's smoke from the chimney of the engine. I quickly jog over down the gravel path through the gate, and the guard, she sees me, she says, just get on. She doesn't even put me in my proper seat. She just was like, we'll sort that out when we get to like the next station. And so they just threw me in one of the empty carriages, and then I think the next stop I got out and I was moved to the back of the train where the open carriage was, and I spent the rest of the trip in that. And so this was from while I was in an actual closed off glass carriage. Some of the beautiful scenery of Wales. I got a nice photo of the engine there. This was the station where I had to get out, I think, and check. No, it wasn't this station, it was the next one. Yeah, here we are. This chap here in the orange jacket, I think he works for the railway. Very friendly fellow. Very pleasant to talk to. It started raining at some point. I'm going to skim through some of these photos a bit quicker. But honestly, the scenery going through the Welsh Highland, like, photos are one thing, but to actually look around and experience it, honest to God, is like travelling through Middle Earth. Like, it is beautiful. Like, just looking at like the rolling hills and the mountains and the lakes. I think that's the Snowdonia Star. We just passed that. But like, just look at that. And I got some of these where you got the photo of the engine, some of the scenery. It's, honest to God, it's beautiful. It is jaw-dropping. I'm really proud of how some of these photos turned out, and like the scenery. If you've not been on the Welsh Highland, I highly recommend it. It's not cheap by any means, but by God is it just a beautiful railway. So beautiful. This was there as well, just that little dragon. No idea what that's meant to signify. That's probably going to be a video at some point. But yeah, it was lovely. You know, you can see the valley, the hills, and the mountains. It's just, and you can see that in the distance, just the three peaks. Oh, and it just keeps going. Like, it's just picture after picture of just stunning scenery. Like, yeah, honestly. Did you see Laurie from Laurie's Summer Machines at the time? I did not. If he was there, I didn't notice or interact with him. If I did and I've forgotten, I'm sorry, Laurie. Hello. I don't know if he was there. Yeah, probably not why I didn't see him. If I did see him, I probably would have recognised him. But that's beside the point. It's just, you see this waterfall here, and you just see that trickling down the mountain. It's gorgeous. It is beautiful. Like, part of me wishes I'd taken more pictures, but part of me wishes I just drank in the scenery. It was just stunning. So here we are, we got closest to the end of the line. This is obviously where the Welsh Islands working on their engines, which was nice. One of the South Africa engines, which is nice. That was the... We'd arrived at Carnarvon. I decided to try and snap a photo of inside of the Pullman carriage, which, again, I really want to ride in, especially because it's like, you know, the big glass observation carriage. That would be beautiful. A couple more nice photos of the engine. What more could you ask for? Just, it's a big engine. It's beautiful. It still boggles my mind, by the way, that this engine runs on a narrower gauge of track than the ones at Towin. And it is so much bigger. The carriages are so much bigger. And it's on a narrower track, but it's so much bigger than the Towin ones. It blows my mind. It's a really weird thought. So yeah, we've got a couple of coffee pot engines. That was just at the station at Carnarvon, which was nice. And obviously, I had to go see Carnarvon Castle because as soon as I saw it, I was like, nah, I gotta see this. And I'm so glad I did. Well, I say that. I'm glad I did, but I kind of regret going. Let me just wet my whistle there. Throat's getting a bit dry from all this non-stop talking. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so Carnarvon Castle. My God, is it massive? Like, those are just two people for scale. Like, it is so massive. It's just, I think I've been to Conway Castle while I was really little. But this, my God, and like, I was snapping photos on the way up. And like, gee, and the walls, and like, yeah, just to give you context, I'm still stood on the street. I can't fit the entire castle in my peripheral vision. I look down and there's more. They've dug a moat. It's so big. Like, these are just average people. That's the archway. That archway, it is gigantic. It is so big. And, you know, this was, you know, like, going in, this was, you know, the whole the grounds of it. There was a big hand for whatever reason. And, like, you can walk around most of it. Like, you can just wander about and see so much of it. Or, like, one of those big gaps in the walls. That is about 4 foot tall? I think that's, like, underselling how big these indents are, these little archery windows. They are so high. They're, like, gotta be 4 or 5 feet high. They are big. I can't express. I no idea what that was for. Like, what I'm guessing this would have been like where I don't know, something was mounted on the wall or a walkway or something. But it's so hard to express how utterly gigantic this castle is. Like, it. I'm walking around it as well. Like, that's the view from the balcony that I, snapped a photo of earlier. There we are. And, like, there was this area, there was, like, this little door up here. Assumably that around here would have been some kind of upper floor. There was... This guy wasn't having a good day, I'm going to be honest with you. This just made me laugh, because this is one of, like, the metal fences that bars better areas off. The warning signs of careful you can slip. It's just this as well. Because, like, I get the implication is that it's meant to be like, oh, watch you don't bang your head because there's, low ceilings here. I guess that's what it's supposed to imply. But it's just it's just the look on this guy's face, how he's just rubbed his hands like, no, I've forgotten it. How could I I left the kids at home. I was meant to bring them with me. It's just that look of frustration. It's an emotion I can't quite describe. Like, he's not banged his head. He's just remembered something and he's not happy about it. That's what's going on here. So I just took that because I thought that was hilarious. Alright, let's see what else we got. I've not got too many more photos of the castle because otherwise I would have been here all day. But, like, it's so big. This hallway's so long. The more, little places to shoot arrows out of. I'm guessing this was at some point a privy. It's a lot more well lit thanks to the flash on my phone. But yeah, it's a toilet. And every now and then you just stumble into just these big rooms. Like the staircases. My God, I hated walking up these staircases. Because at its widest, here, that fit only about, I'm going to say 2/3 of my foot. I have big feet. I am very heavy. Like, so I was clinging onto these hand ropes for my life. It was so steep, and they just go round. It's, oh my God, I think this is the view from top of one of the towers, I want to say. No, I think I go... No, I don't have any photos of the top. I have gone to the top of like one of the, like, the proper little narrow towers. But that was the view from on top of, the harbour and the bay, which was, quite nice. It was lovely. The view from, like, down across the courtyard. Didn't go into the cafe or in the lift to the top exhibition here, which, again, I didn't have time because I was on the Harbour Master service. We got to Carnarvon at about 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock-ish. And the service left at 2:10. At 2:10. So I had just over an hour to walk to the castle, walk around the entire thing, get back to the train. You need a good 2.5, 3 hours to truly go around this whole castle. And that's, like, not stopping to properly read the museum exhibits either. It's a day out on its own. So it's quite nice. Just more walking, more stuff, more sort of corridors and walkways. This was interesting because I don't know what this room would have been for, but it had like a full fireplace. Like I could look up the chimney and that went up all the way out to the top of the tower. But like these, around like these interiors in these rooms, on the other sides of these walls were just these walkways wrapping around. So you had like the room and then an exterior sort of like a gap where you could walk around it and then the exterior wall. It's really weird. You know, very fascinating but weird. Also a baby seagull. I'm assuming it's a baby seagull, but I saw it and I took photos of it and it was very cute. I was tempted to just pick it up and pet it, maybe put it in my pocket and take it home. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I'm fairly certain I would have gotten into some kind of like legal trouble if I picked... I think there's like legal ramifications for messing with baby seagulls. But yeah. So that was nice. Another very narrow zigzaggy staircase, which I do not understand. Real messy. This is, I think it's one of Napoleon's eagles, I think. I could have that wrong. But from what I understand, it's one of... it's something to do with the Napoleonic War. Someone can correct me on that. Yeah, the castle has a surprising lot to do with like Roman history as well. On your screen, Tiason's name is blue. That's because Tiason's a mod. This room is just wizard chess. There's a thing going across the floor here that explains it all. I didn't have time to read it, but I'm just assuming it's wizard chess. Every now and then you would just stumble into one of these just weirdly shaped rooms. Like, there's nothing in there explaining what it was for. You just find a dead end. It was like, genuinely, walking through that castle was like walking through a labyrinth. Also, it's getting quite late, so I'm going to put in my order for my takeaway now because we're almost at the very end of the photographs. So, bear with me just a moment. Okay. Why are you taking so long to load pizza website? Please. Alright. What pizza should I get, boys? There's the Meatballs Tasty, which is one I really quite like. There's Donna Meat Pizza, and that's good. Meat Feast. Special pizza. You can't go wrong with a special because that's turkey, ham, mushroom, spicy beef, pepperoni, onions, and peppers. Good combo. What are we feeling? What are we feeling tonight? All of the tasty balls. What? Okay, so you know it's either the special or the tasty balls. Oh no, we're gonna regret calling it that now. Oh god. Meat lovers. 3,000. What currency is that? Is that 3,000 Wulong? Did I just get a payment from Spike Spiegel? Well, they've donated, so I guess it's the special pizza. Unless someone wants to counter donate and we start a bidding war for what pizza I get. No, okay. No, alright, no, I'll get. Oh god, I'll get the spare. I'll get a special pizza. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, that's tickled me, that has. Oh, that's tickled me. Jesus. Alright. Because someone donated, it's the special pizza. I'll get the meatballs tasty next time. Special pizza is it's turkey ham. Where is it? Here we go. Yeah, it's turkey ham, mushroom, spicy beef, pepperoni, onions, and peppers. Good blend of meat and veg. It's just like any good honeymoon, really, innit? Oh god, why did I say that? Oh lord. Oh no. Hang on a sec. Do I have any change? Oh no, I need I'm 60p down. I need 60p in change for the order. Oh, here we go. 20p and a 50p. That's perfect. That's just what I needed. Right. Okay. Oh, I'm so... Wait, what did I say? Oh, God. I'm just going to order it. And we are just going to forget that ever happened. Did the order go through? Oh. Yes, the order's gone through. Lovely. Alright, so food's been ordered, so we're all good. Next time have a burger pizza. There is a place nearby that does like this pizza, but the crust is like it's like burger meat, like they've got burgers in the crust. It's gonna kill you if you try and eat it on your own, but it looks damn good. Anyway, we're getting close to the end of all the holiday pictures now, so let's speed on through and I can end the stream and enjoy my food. Another one of those rooms that's just weirdly shaped. The roof here, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of angled, like it kind of slopes a bit. So that was weird. Just a lovely stained glass window. If anyone can read Latin, now is your chance. Just translate that and post it in the comments. This is just, again, another shot of like the bay from outside my window, or the window. This is supposedly, I guess, what the castle in its entirety would have been. So obviously this is where I was milling about, and this obviously would have been where all the peasants would have lived. Actually, no, if they're surrounded by castle, I guess these would have been like nobility. Well, they would have at least, you know, been knights or something. Because to live in castle walls is something special in it. This was just a nice... I think this was the king's bedroom, or like a royal bedroom or something, I don't know. Another tower, which is... They're just so tall. I went to the top of one and I thought, right, I'm not going to go to the top of any others. More photos. This was on the way out. Let's see. This, I don't know what... I think this is meant to be, you know, how they knock out the stone. There were just 2 cannons there as well. Oh, one sec. There we go. So I just had to mute someone in chat real quick. Here we go. So, there are some cannons, more of the castle. Back at the railway, more photos of the engine, which, lovely colour, by the way. And I was always wondering, like, how do they clean the smoke box on a Garrett? Because, like, how are you supposed to, you know, clean that with that in the way? I don't know if I took a photo. Yeah, here we are. This, I never realised this was just a big gap. So you can open this and, like, have access. I never realised that. So many years on this earth, and I never pieced together that's how you'd clean a Garrett smoke box. Maybe I'm just thick. Who knows? But yeah, the Bayer Garrett, built in Manchester, 1951. Lovely. Another photo of 87 there, on the way back down. Try to snap a few more photos of the engine, which I like how this one turned out. This is quite nice. Let's see. That should be a video how to clean a Garrett smoke box. It's not that special, but yeah. How was the castle? It was good. Wish I could have spent some more time there. Temunator. So I've been working on ToT's Train for Sona. It's a furry dubs tank. What are you talking about? What? I don't know. I've acknowledged that, but I'm not gonna. We're just gonna keep cracking on. The sun had come out at this point, so I got a lot more clearer photos. I'm just gonna skim through. Like I said, it's beautiful. Just Wales is beautiful, especially rural. It's like being in Middle Earth. Like, the only problem with some of these photos, as you can see, this would have been lovely if it wasn't obscured by the smoke and steam pouring out of the top of the engine. Oh boy. That's another shot of that waterfall I got earlier. More of the engine. It's a shame these ones came out blurry. I guess it was trying to focus on... The camera couldn't pick on what to focus. Which, a shame, but oh well. Lovely scenery. I think that's sideways. I don't know why that's sideways. But yeah, big pile of what I'm assuming is just waste. Like, quarry waste. Whatever. It's nice. That was... Oh yeah, what was quite funny is because I was sat in the open carriage as well, because it was at the rear of the train, the engine's reversed round to the front. I was the second carriage from the engine. It was the open carriage. So I was... I was looking at my arms. Bits of soot and coal and ash were stuck to my arm. It was getting in my hair. It was... Oh my god. And it was like... It was... The floor of the carriage was covered. It was covered in soot. It was a mess. And it was so funny. Because, like... surely you'd think, better that we put like the open carriage. Why don't we put that in the middle of the train? That way, as it chugs along, it doesn't matter which end the locomotive's at. It doesn't matter then, as long as we can. It won't get sudden weather. Nah, the floor was just coated. I wish I took a picture of it because it was filthy. Oh my god. Yeah, just a few more just that ridge, that beautiful ridge. It's such a magical place as Wales. It's such a magical place. I don't know what this was, assuming like an old quarryman's hut or an old farmer's house or something. But yeah. Just so much beautiful scenery. Come to Wales. Honest to God, come to Wales. The engine must have worked hard. It is a Garrett, and if you look at the size of it, it was pulling the train so good. I was talking though, because we had to stop to fill up on coal, and the guy who was talking said they had some Welsh coal, but they also had some Polish coal imported, and they also had the compound stuff that they're using on the Tallyclyn, and they're having to like mix it all together because apparently the compound stuff on its own isn't that good. Like the engines at the Tallyclyn, they seem to be doing all right with it when I was there during the Awdry Extravaganza. And for anyone who doesn't know what the compound stuff is I think it's a mix of like charcoal, sugar, crushed apricot seeds. They've got a load of other stuff in it as well. And it's really strange because you look at a piece and it's like just normal coal, but it kind of glitters to it as well because it's got like sugar in it to help burn because it's your energy. It's so weird, the stuff. But apparently the Garretts don't like it, which is a shame really because the engines at Towin seem to burn it real well. I guess that is just the size difference, which is a shame really. I think that's one of the few good photos of the Garrett I have on the trip back. I'll tell a lie, that one's not bad as well. But yeah, it is just like being in Middle Earth. Honestly, I was expecting to see some giant eagles. I was expecting to see Surrey and McKellen with and Elijah Wood just chilling, smoking pipes at one of the stations. But yeah, I think we're definitely coming to an end of it now. This is 22. Yeah, okay, we're getting close to the end now. Yeah, some more mountain photos, more mountains. I'm skimming past. A lot of these are very beautiful photos. But I'm tired, and this was... Oh. I think... Oh, that's when I was... That's... Yeah. But yeah, so that's the end of my holiday, really. Like I said, I'm glad to have met anyone who came down to the Tallyclyn for the Awdry Extravaganza. If anyone's got any questions, by the way, feel free to fire them off real quick. Just because, whoops, you're not supposed to be looking at that. Oh god, now I'm just looking over my desktop making sure there's like nothing you're supposed to see that you're not supposed to see. Yeah, nah, it's all good, it's all good. But yeah, Don't question my wallpaper. Don't question my wallpaper. Oh, fine. I guess I better answer that question and vote for Fred. It's the song Drip Fed Fred by Madness. If you've not listened to it, Madness, classic ska band, real good. And their song is Drip Fed Fred. We want Freddy for our leader. Freddy is a man of class. I made this wallpaper years ago. I made it years ago. And honestly, I've just never had the heart to change it. I'm one of these people who I'm so used to it. I'm so used to it right now. It would be weirder for me to change it. I appreciate Jason's got good taste in music. When is next Cursed Trains? When I get round to it. I don't know if it'll be the next stream or the stream after, because I want to hop back into Railroads Online with River and Mike again. To answer your question, Daniel Zoo, as well. So it'll either be the next stream or the stream after. It depends on whether or not River and Mike are up for it. Don't know what my next stream's going to be. We'll just figure it out. Anything else? Can you please make a Lego train videos? I know a guy that can help. He's in your Discord server. If I've got a reason to, but again, it's more facts I like doing. Hello ToT, how's you been since the gala? I've been very tired. I've been recovering these last few days. And like I said, I've been to see Oppenheimer and Barbie today, which is why the stream was quite late. But that's fun. Points for liking Madness. What was your next stream again? I don't know. Why did you call that French text Latin? Because I don't read French, and most of the time when it's church or in a stained glass window it's Latin because the Bible is written in Latin. I'm sorry. What's your favourite moment? Ooh, the Awdry Extravaganza. It would have to be when Ivo Hugh, I was sat in the cafe. Ivo Hugh set off the smoke alarm and we all had to get out of the cafe. One of my favourite moments of that. What was the most cursed image you've seen on the stream so far? No idea. Probably one of the Thomas the Tank knockoffs. How TF did you manage not to get the glare from the windows when taking those pictures? I just had my phone really close to the glass. That's all it was. It was the royal coat of arms, sir. It isn't very holy. Hey! Weapons are my religion. So that's what set off the alarm. That is indeed what set off the alarm at Towin. So any more questions? Yay, nay? Glad you weren't blinded by the suit. I'm glad I wasn't blinded by the suit either. This is Duck says finally made it. Sorry mate, we're just about to finish. But yeah, if there's no more questions, then I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Been a pleasure as always. Happy to chat with you folks. Were you able to drive Duncan? No, unfortunately. Go to American? I mean, if I can get the money and justify it as a business expense, then sure, I'll fly over to the States, but I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. Okay. I think I'll call it to an end there. My food should be arriving very soon. So, yeah. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Yeah. pleasure to have you all on board, and I'm glad you enjoyed looking at my holiday snaps with me. So thank you very much. Watch some more of my videos. I might edit together a few compilations because I know some of you want those. And hopefully I can start working on some film reviews. Or at least work on how realistic some trains are in films, because I really want to get started on doing that as a video series, because I think that would be rather nifty. But yeah, like I said, pleasure having you all on board. It's been fun seeing any of you that were at Towin over the weekend. And yeah. It's been fun. Tune in next time, folks. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.